Governor Huckabee joins us now from Destin, Florida. Let me just ask the obvious question. Governor, are you going to run?
Well, Bob, a decision hasn't been made. I've been saying it's going to be this spring. We're barely into it. It's still snowing in Boston, so give me a few more weeks, but I'll make an announcement relatively soon.
It's clear that Ted Cruz is going after what you consider your base, and that is conservative Christians. Tell me why you can represent them better than he can.
Well, my base is really beyond just evangelicals. I think a lot of people perceive that. Certainly, they're an important part of the base that I enjoyed back in 2008. But I think the untold secret is that a lot of the support that I had, and I anticipate that I will have, is from the working class, blue-collar people who grew up a lot like I did. Not blue blood, but blue collar. And there's a real sense in the Republican Party that there's no one speaking not only to them, but speaking for them. And if someone can capture both the blue-collar, working-class Republicans, the conservatives, many of them even union members, as well as evangelicals, there's a real pathway to the nomination.
What do you see as the main challenge for the next person who becomes president?
I think it's got to restore hope in America again, bring this country back where we believe we're going to be able to be at our best. People are discouraged. I meet people every day whose economy is not recovering, Bob. They're not feeling this sense of recovery that people in Washington are boasting about. Their economy is not recovering, the folks out there working hard. And I believe that if we don't once again give people a sense of hope and optimism, first about their own economic situation and then about the world that is on fire, it's going to be hard to get America back on track. And I believe most Americans, and the polls reflect this, believe that we are on the wrong track right now.
You got good reviews when you were governor of Arkansas for the most part. But do you consider yourself qualified to handle foreign policy? You've just heard what we've been talking about this morning. I can't remember when the world was more tangled up than it is right now. What can you bring to that? And what will you tell people when they ask you that question?
Well, a lot of people don't know. My first trip to the Middle East was in 1973, 42 years ago when I was all of 17. I've been to the Middle East several dozen times. Just got back from Israel last month, was there 3 times just last year. I've been to virtually every country that we talk about, whether it's Egypt, Jordan, Israel, Iraq, Afghanistan, the Saudi Arabia, the Emirates, Kuwait, Turkey, Pakistan, India. This is a part of the world with which I am familiar firsthand. And as a governor, I also met with many world leaders as well as CEOs of multinational corporations. And frankly, most governors do. I think it's sometimes perceived that governors don't have much of a worldview. I would tend to take issue that that's not always the case.
Do you think this is going to be a contest to determine who is the most conservative Republican candidate or who is the most electable Republican candidate?
I know that there's going to be a big brouhaha over who's the most conservative. But if you look at all the Republicans who are thinking about running, there really isn't an outright liberal in the whole bunch. There may be degrees of more conservative on one policy or another, but I think that compared to the current administration, all of us are conservative. But I'm convinced, Bob, that the average American voter, at least the ones that are going to decide the election, they don't think horizontally. It's not for them left, right, liberal, conservative, Democrat, Republican. I'm convinced that a lot of Americans are asking the question about the vertical perspective. Who's going to take us up and who's going to take us down? And they're a heck of a lot more concerned about somebody getting this country, this economy, and our world in an upward direction than just to say that horizontally we've moved further to the right or we've moved further to the left.
All right. Well, Governor, we're going to stop right there. Hope to see you again. I hope you'll call us when you tell us you're ready to announce. We'll put you right here on Face the Nation.
I'll let you know, Bob. Thanks.
Okay, and we'll be right back.